Traders, welcome back to another price action lesson here. Today's market started out with an uptrend working higher with a break and a new extreme. At this point, I wouldn't have this wider channel here. I was more so playing this as a break and a new extreme. Prices were quite sideways. So I was looking to see if prices would pull back into this range here at this point and also at this point. But you can see prices ended up holding at this resistance level. It looks like this resistance here turned into support, somewhat of like a breakout pullback. So I was initially playing this as a break and a new high, but when prices failed to pull back into this range and instead they held this resistance level, at this point, this is when I started to trust this wider channel here. Something like that. We have this downtrend working lower at this point. If you count from the top, you have first entry long, pullback, second entry long. So when I saw this second entry long form, of course we can't take it because it's below the EMA, but I was looking for some higher low to confirm the second entry long, but unfortunately we didn't get it. I got a bearish bar on my chart, which actually didn't even trigger. And by the time it formed as an inside bar. So after this formed on my chart, I was looking for some failed second entry shorts to take advantage of the next push phase. I was playing some wider channel like this when I was watching this live. So I was looking for some failed second entry short to confirm the two key entry points at this point, the EMA and the trend line. Unfortunately, on my chart, it formed as a bearish bar. But if you guys had a failed second entry short that formed a nice bar here, this is a great setup to take advantage of the next bullish push phase. So we get this nice move up here. So when we get to this point, I'm still looking for that second entry long because we're now in a bullish trend. Prices sliced right through the EMA though, and we're working lower. When I was watching this live, I was playing this as something like this, a downtrend with a break, and at this point I was playing the new extreme, and I was thinking, okay, maybe prices just wanted to come back and test this what was the resistance level, but eventually turned into a support level. I was thinking they want to come test this level again before working higher to get the new high of the uptrend. But you can see we sliced right through that level as well and pushed lower. And when we got to this point, we just retraced too much of this initial uptrend. So I had to go back and adapt to something like this. Let me draw this a little bit bigger. And you can see there was a very tiny break here and a new extreme for the uptrend. So when I'm watching this live, I'm not playing it with the break in the new extreme, but as prices printed more, it's clear that there was a tiny little break in the new extreme given the deep retracement. And this is actually a good lesson to talk about. You don't always have to be like correct the very first time. As price action prints, you can always go back and adapt um, after prices form, and you can adapt to what the market is telling you. And that was the case here. We had a little tiny break in a new high and a deep retracement. So now I have this downtrend working lower, and I'm expecting a new extreme for the downtrend. You have a first entry short, second entry short. We have this uptrend working higher, and we also have this overshoot here. So I'm really looking for the second leg of this initial leg. We have some small congestion with the break in a new extreme. But then you get this other push higher here. So it wasn't the most clear at this point, but you can see that there was some uptrend working higher like this with a break into extreme. Then when we get this push below the EMA and this nice downtrend working lower here, this is when things cleared up for me. And if you watch some of my previous videos, these are the areas of the chart where I love, where there's a downtrend working lower here and a downtrend working lower here, and they both need new extremes. So at this point in the chart, I was looking for a second entry short. This would be a very strong setup to take a second entry short here because two trends would need a new extreme. So there's lots of reasons to go short here. And I just kind of want to reiterate some of these areas of the chart which are very, very strong compared to others. Where these two downtrends need an extreme and a second entry short forming is a very, very strong area compared to somewhere like here, where it wasn't that clear, we wanted to wait for more price actions to see what the next move was. So this is very important to talk about because there's trading is a lot of patience and a lot of waiting, and there's certain areas of the chart where things just aren't that clear, and we need to wait for more price action to print to be able to tell us what the next move is going to be or the next market cycle. And there's other areas of the chart where we really want to pay attention, and we're more so expecting a setup to form because there's stronger areas. Like here, the failed second entry short, a very strong area. And here, if a second entry short was to form, very strong area with these two downtrends needing a new extreme. So once again, I was looking for the second entry short here, but unfortunately they didn't form. We hit this leg working higher here. You have a first entry short, and I was still looking for the second entry short in this area, but unfortunately we pushed higher and got the new high for this initial move up. You have a break in a new high, and you actually have a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. Very tempting setup. I was patient here because at this point you're right in the middle of this range here, and the bias just isn't that confirmed. Um, it is a very tempting setup to take, but since we're working sideways here, you have to ask yourself, why didn't the second entry short form here? Why didn't the EMA reject and prices push lower to create the new low? Instead, we have a very deep pullback with these two legs here. So when it got to this point, it just got a little bit unclear. We transformed into this range and we're right into the middle of the range. So the bias is a little bit unclear. If you took this setup here, I can see why. No problem. Trading is about taking risks. No worries. But given the things that I just talked about, that's what kept me out of this setup here. So we have a downtrend working lower with a break in a new low. When I was watching this live, I saw a first leg down, pull back, a second leg down. So I saw the two-legged pullback, and when we got this push up here, I was really thinking prices would want to pull back into this range here. So I was looking for something above the EMA, but you can see the EMA actually rejected prices. And when we pushed lower here was the first sign, okay, there could potentially be some wider channel. So I wouldn't have this wider downtrend here at first. I was playing when we got this push push lower here. This is when I was playing this wider channel here. You got your first touch, second touch, third touch. It eventually broke the bottom side of the channel and created an overshoot. I kept this as an overshoot because we're coming right off of low a day. And lots of times there can be a strong bullish pressure at this low a day, at this support level. So I wanted to keep this as an overshoot, to be patient on any short setup that's very close to this EMA. I was more so looking for some confirmation setup. So we have a first leg working higher here with a break in a new high. The price is pushed below the EMA. The lower high on my chart formed as a doji, but even if I got a strong bearish bar here, I most likely would be patient because once again, we're selling right into this main support level here, and I really want to just see a better confirmation setup, because once again, you can get some stronger bullish correction since you're coming off this support level, especially with the overshoot. So we get a push lower, a break, and a new extreme, and now we have a new low of this wider downtrend here. Now the downtrend played out. So now I'm sitting on my hands, I'm patient. I'm looking to see what the next market cycle is going to be. Are we going to push higher back into this range? Are we going to continue working lower, or what's going to be the next move? So let's see what happens. We push lower. We have an uptrend working higher here. So at this point, I'm playing a break in a new low. But the EMA rejects again. So this is the first sign of, okay, this is a little bit more bearish than expected. Let's see what happens next. We push high, we have a break in a new high. And we're rejecting again, and we're coming back below the EMA again. So if this is a reversal, this wouldn't be happening. The EMA wouldn't be getting sliced through like this. You would instead reverse like this. So at this point, when we broke the EMA, this is when I started thinking, okay, there might be some wider downtrend, something like this, that wants to see that new extreme. So now we're pushing lower, I have a leg lower. I have this wider downtrend that needs a new low. So I'm starting to think about some second entry short at the EMA, which would also be a failed second entry long if we count from the highs. First entry long, pullback second entry long from the lows. It'd be a first entry short, pullback second entry short. So let's see if we can get it. We have the first entry short, and we have no tick higher to create the second entry short. We just continue working lower, so it's somewhat of like a prolonged first entry short. And you can see prices just push straight lower. So now we have the new extreme of even this wider downtrend. So once again, now like in this area, I'm just sitting on my hands waiting for the next market cycle. And this is kind of speaking to like what I was talking about before, where there's some areas on the chart that are quite strong, rather than other areas where it's just a waiting game, where we're waiting for price action to print to see what the next move is. That is exactly like where we're at right now. We're just sitting on our hands, letting prices print, seeing what the next move is going to be. I'm not even looking for a setup. I just want to see what the next market cycle is going to be. Whereas in this area, it's very clear. Two downtrends need a new extreme. I'm expecting a new low, so I'm looking for that second entry short at the EMA. So those are just two different areas of the chart. One where we can be a little bit more aggressive, look for setups, and other areas where we're just kind of sitting on our hands, letting prices print. So let's see what happens next. The EMA rejects again, and we push back above the EMA. We get some higher low here, but we're quite far from the EMA, and this higher low just doesn't confirm much for me. If I'm looking for a reversal, I really want to see the failed second entry short. So this higher low is not to my liking because it just doesn't confirm much, and two, it's just so far from the EMA with the body. But we do get some nice uptrend working higher like this. So at this point, I'm looking for some second entry long at the EMA. We get a first entry long, pullback, second entry long, but my second entry long on my chart formed as a bearish bar, and we're just so far from the EMA. So at this point, I'm starting to think about some double trap. If we can get some double trap to form in this area, because you can see we have first leg, break, second leg. So let's see if we can get a nice double trap here. And we have no tick lower, and we just instantly push higher here. So unfortunately, on my chart, no double trap formed. I got no tick lower here. But if you, on your chart, if you got a nice second entry long at the EMA or possibly some double trap here, this is a great setup to take advantage of because everything's clear. Downtrend played out with a break in a new low. Uptrend is in play, expecting a new high. We have our nice two-legged pullback here, but unfortunately, it just didn't form clean on my chart. So we have a break in a new extreme. I wouldn't have this wider channel at the moment. I'd just be playing the break a new high. But you can see EMA rejected here. We push higher, and we push higher again. Okay, so this is a clue. Okay, there must be some wider channel here. This is when I started playing this channel like this. So now, once again, like here, I'm looking for the second entry long at the EMA. So we push higher. So even more so now we're even more so confirmed that okay, this channel is definitely correct. So this is giving us even more confidence that hey, we're really looking for the second entry long at the EMA. Clean uptrend in play at this point. You have a first entry long, count reset, first entry long, another count reset. Then you actually have a triple test here. When I was watching this live, I was looking for the second entry long for some little tick higher here and then a second entry long. But now when I look back on this, you have a nice triple test, one bounce, second bounce, third bounce, and you can also view it as like a hidden failed second entry short. If we count from these lows, a first entry short, and on a smaller time frame, you would get some failed second entry short here. So this is like a hidden failed second entry short combined with the triple test. This is actually a great setup to take advantage on, expecting a new extreme of this uptrend because we just got the first break of this uptrend, so we expect a new extreme. It would have been nice to have a little bitty tick higher and get some nice little mini second entry long triple test, but this triple test in itself is enough combined with the hidden failed second entry short. So this is a great setup to take advantage of here. And prices push higher and create the new extreme. So perfect price action. Prices played out just as expected. And now looks like we have some downtrend working lower at this point. but you can see we're already late in the day. We're about to close in the market. So this was a great trading day. Go back and just look at this in summary. We had an uptrend with a break in a new high, um, turned into somewhat of a breakout pullback. So we had a wider channel with a break in a new extreme. Once again, I wouldn't be playing this tiny break with the new extreme in the very beginning. I was playing it as a wider channel. But when we get this deep retracement here, this is when I went back and adapted and did the break in the new extreme with the downtrend working lower. So I was expecting a new low for this downtrend, but with overshoot, we had a stronger correction. Uptrend, break new high. Two downtrends need a new extreme. Perfect area for a second entry short. Unfortunately, it didn't form this time, but if you're expecting a second entry short here, you got the right idea. We had a deeper pullback with a break in a new high, and we had a failed second entry long, a failed second entry long here, but it was just a little bit too sideways, a little bit unclear, so I was patient here. But if you took this setup, I could see why. We have a downtrend with a break in a new low. Instead of pulling back into this range, prices rejected. So we had a wider downtrend working lower with an overshoot. We had a deeper pullback here with a break in a new high, and then a break of this initial downtrend and a new low. So this downtrend played out. Then we had this tiny break of this even wider downtrend, which we wouldn't be playing initially. It wouldn't be until we broke the EMA here that I was like, okay, there's an even wider downtrend in play. So you have a break and a new high of this short-term uptrend, and then eventually this downtrend in itself played out with a break and a new extreme of both of these downtrends here. So now all downtrends played out, prices reversed into this uptrend working higher. You got your two-legged pullback, expect a second entry long or a double trap at the EMA. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but if you're expecting a second entry long or a double trap in this area, you got the right idea. You have a break and a new extreme, and instead of reversing or working sideways, prices eventually kept rejecting the EMA and working higher. So we transformed into a wider uptrend here, or a channel rather. Um, we're looking for some second entry long at the EMA, but this nice triple test form that was combined with like a hidden failed second entry short. Great setup to take a chance on, given that we had this break of this nice solid uptrend, and we're expecting a new extreme. And sure enough, prices pushed higher and created a new high. So we pushed high, and now it looks like there's some downtrend here, and the market's closing. So yeah, guys, this was a great trading day. If this video was helpful, please feel free to hit that like button. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. I actually have a trading community where I post charts daily, and I'm here to answer any questions that you guys may have in real time. So if that's of any interest to you guys, please feel free to check out that link in the description below. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys had a good trading day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.